Everybody, it's Ryan here. I have an interesting question to ask you. A couple months ago, I stood in this exact same spot here in the desert, and one of the things that God began to speak to me specifically was don't talk yourself out of what He was going to do. And the question that I have for you guys today, is it faith or is it flesh? I'm blessed to have been able to follow a lot of the directions that God has given me in my personal life, and through those directions I've gained wisdom, I've gained knowledge, I've gained understanding of a lot of things. And God has pointed out to me that I'm a teacher, and so a lot of times when I'm dealing with people early on in their conversations that I'm dealing with them, I can begin to understand if they operate in faith or they operate in flesh. And so some of the things that God is getting ready to speak to you and ask you to do and require of you is going to require you to have an answer for this question for yourself. Is it faith or is it flesh? Many of you, God is calling you to a higher level. God is calling you to a new standard. God is calling you to new areas, new spaces, new domains. And while He's doing that, many of you are going to look at yourself. You're going to look at your own flesh and say, hey, God, I'm not capable of that. And so a lot of the things that God is going to ask you to do, He's not concerned if you think that you're capable. He's concerned, do you believe His word, right? Do you believe what He said? There's a saying, it's like God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies your call. So many of you, the things that God is calling you to, you in your flesh are not qualified for it. And that's the reason why God chose you for it, is because He wants to get the glory in the situation. He wants to get the honor in this situation. And so many of you are looking at your flesh, what you are fleshly able to do, what you're fleshly capable of doing. And again, most of the things that God is, like 99% of the things that God is going to call you to, if it's truly God, you're not going to be able to do it in your own strength. You're going to need to rely on Him. And so if you're only focusing on your flesh, if you're only focusing on what you see and you're not focusing on the faith of, okay, well, God is telling me to do this, and this is the next move, this is the next step that I need to take, this is the leap of faith that I need to do, you're going to be like the children of Israel wandering around in the desert for 40 years. You're going to just be walking around in circles, because what God has assigned you to, He's not, for the most part, He's not going to just skip over. This is your assignment. And so either you're going to do it or you're not. And so many of you are going to continue to walk around in the desert. Many of you are going to continue to walk around in the wilderness because you're looking at your flesh. You're looking at what you're capable of do in your personal strength versus what God can do in His supernatural capabilities. And so I just want to leave that here with you guys today. Is it flesh or is it faith? God bless you all today. Bye-bye.